we spoke about leaders, and
Yes.
I mean, you need to now you've got to manage sort of this information network in organizations, and I love this concept that Mary Ulbein and has I can't remember the colleague, but they've what kind of leadership not style but approach is required in this time, and what they so eloquently illustrate is how almost you've got this network of cross-disciplinary, or perhaps not yet cross-disciplinary teams, but many people who hold certain information in a large network, and the strength of your ability to solve complex problems is about the sharing points between these people in order to bring together different angles on a particular problem in order to solve it. And you kind of more and more see that there's a desperate need to have connectors, to have people that bring people from different disciplines or viewpoints, or I mean even within psychology, people from a research psychology and eye psychology speaking together in order to solve problems could be valuable, but you need people to bring those people together and solve these problems. And they brought forth this concept of network-orientated leadership,
Yes.
As being these sort of nodes, or creating these nodes where information sort of kind of connect with each other in order to help solve problems. And I really think that's a really cool concept that we need to bring about when we think about leadership performance and what it means to influence other people. Not only influence, but influence it to bring people with different sources of information together in order to solve problems.
Absolutely, and this speaks to broader leadership, not necessarily the CEO or the executive team, but fulfilling a leadership type of role in whatever team you are in. And this for me also speaks beautifully to the concept of being open to learn, being open to feedback, which also taps into learning agility again, knowing when I'm not the expert and when I have an expert available to me where I can tap into the information, because it's impossible for one person, I don't care what your horsepower is, to be able to know everything about everything.
Yeah.
But what we need to be able to do, and this is complexity in and of itself from a different lens, is I need to be able to foster relationships. I need to be able to build networks and to realize when I can tap into different areas of my network.
It also has an element of epistemic humility to it.
Yes.
I'm using epistemic colleagues, that just means how do we know something, and having a humility about that you don't know everything is quite valuable, rather than being this charismatic, transformational, I know everything, I'm going to interject myself here and say how things should be. It's well, I guess to a certain extent what colleagues like Robert Hogan would also say is that you need humility. Leaders need humility to exactly do this.
Absolutely. The person who knows everything doesn't need to learn, or doesn't have the willingness to learn, because why should I know everything? Which is cognitive biases, thinking that I don't need other people or that I can solve problems on my own. I mean, great. People need to be able to have that ability or that confidence to want to try to solve problems, that persistence to see it through and to keep on trying. But at one point you need to critically evaluate, is that adding or subtracting from what am I trying to do, and being able to rely on networks.
You mentioned cognitive biases, and I mean, they're irrespective of how intelligent you are, we all have it.
Yes.
And so, for example, just solely relying on your recent experiences to make inferences about the future, or we all fall in those traps, and it helps to have somebody to have your back and say, listen, you've got a blind spot here, and you're making quick decision making on a limited information, and to that point,
yes,
it helps to be humble.
Absolutely. Confirmation bias, only looking for support.
That as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.